Okay, so tonight I would like to speak about a subject that I talked about at the very beginning of my videos. I was saying that I paint and I create in music. So it, I'm not sure that I explain well how I do that. It's very difficult to explain because it would be like explaining what I have in my mind. It's very difficult to explain because it's something that I always did, and I thought that it was normal, and I realized that not everybody was like that, and I really want to explain to you how I do it. First, because I think that maybe it can be helpful for you. Secondly, I think you will understand better when I'm doing on my videos and on my paintings. Okay. So, first I would say that when I was a child, I was already painting on music. I was not especially choosing the music that I was listening to. I was listening to psychedelic music, psychedelic, I don't know how we say in English. We say psychedelic in French, because it inspired me a lot of colors and shapes, and I was mostly drawing around the psychedelic music. Actually, the psychedelism, it's also colors and shapes and kind of design, but I could really see it in my mind. I could spend hours and hours. I was an only child, so all my free time was drawing and painting on this kind of music. Then I studied economics, so nothing to do with that. I'm still wondering what happened, but that's what happened. I don't regret, because I love economics too. So I was still drawing, but I was not painting much anymore. What surprised actually all my family, because they thought that I was going to make comics or a career like that, and it was very surprising to see me in economics. Anyway, I spent many years without painting, and when I started again, so it was I first started painting on furniture. So that was when my second child was born, so 26 years ago. I was painting on furniture, and little by little I started painting on canvas again. It was completely different from what I'm doing with Talk Talk and Mark Hollis right now. Really very different, because I started painting again about mostly the lyrics and the poetry of Jim Morrison. I'm not going to explain to you here how Jim Morrison arrived in my inspiration, because I could take hours to explain that. It was really weird too, especially that I knew the Doors. I loved their music, but I was not especially a fan or a groupie or crazy about the Doors, and I don't know what happened. Actually, it was much more the lyrics and the poetry than the music itself. And what was very strange is that, and I'm not trying to make you believe anything here, excuse me, I make some order. I'm sorting and cleaning my house in the same time. No, I'm joking. Anyway, for Jim Morrison, it was very strange, because I always had the feeling that I was not the one who was painting. I mean, when I was doing a painting, I had the feeling that I was translating an idea of someone else. So I was starting, I already had the idea in my mind. I don't know how it was coming actually, but I knew before starting exactly what I was going to do, And I was doing and doing, and once the painting was over, I was like, I did that. I don't remember doing that. I was like in trance or something like that. It was really strange, and I was doing painting after painting after painting. At a point I had so many that I didn't know where to put them in my house. I sold a few, but it was not enough to make some space in my house, and I still have them. So yeah, I brought them from France with me. Anyway, there are paintings, really, when I look at them, I sometimes remember the technical difficulty, but I have no idea how these ideas came. Don't ask me to explain you how I did that. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't want to put a definition in this. I was inspired, and it's like if it was coming directly to my mind and I was translating on the canvas. I had so much the feeling that I was not the one who was creating, that when someone was telling me, what is this painting, I understand nothing, what does it mean, and I don't like it, and sometimes people can be really mean and rude. I didn't care. I didn't care because I thought, anyway, I don't care. I'm not the real author of the painting. It's not really me deep down. I just held the brush. So I was not affected by people saying bad things about my painting. I didn't care. I knew that I had to do them, and that was it. And I stopped. I was in the middle of that, and I stopped when my ex-husband left. It's like if the connection didn't work anymore. Don't ask me to explain you how and why. I don't know. It seems a little complicated. Anyway, there is a thing that people have. I discovered that later. It's what we call synesthesia or synesthesia. I don't know how we say it. It's a particular thing. It seems that in the brain some stuff are connected together, and when we become adults, these things get separated, and that's what, when you can separate the different sense, like the view is separated from the fact to hear. I don't know how we say in English. I'm sorry for my bad English for this specific thing. But the people who are synesthesists, I don't know if we can say synesthesists, anyway, they still have the two things connected. So all the senses are mixed. So that's why when I hear music, I see an image. For me, music equal image. Smell can equal image or can equal music or sound. Colors, I see a color. More exactly, I hear music, I see a color. I see a letter, I see a color. For example, for me, A is red, definitely red. I is yellow. Don't ask me why, it's like that. So that is what we call synesthesist. I'm not the only one. A lot of people are like me, but not the majority. A few people. They are very often artists. For example, Kandinsky was synesthesist. I'm not saying that I'm as good as Kandinsky. I'm just saying that we had the same flow. So basically, I'm not finished. I'm like children. I can't explain you that by a scientific way because I'm not into science, and I'm not going to give you details about that. But obviously I think that it's a flow that I have which helps me to paint on music. It doesn't mean that because you wouldn't be synesthesist, you are not able to paint on music. Uh, a music can maybe remind you a situation or landscape, place, or a person, and you would like to paint what you see. That's possible. I mean, it's not automatically you must have this flow to do it. I'm sure that you can develop this. I can talk for you because I'm not in your situation, but you can also paint not only, yes, not only on music, you can also paint on words, on lyrics, or you see an image and it makes you think of another image, or maybe a smell which reminds you something and you want to paint it. You know, it's something that you must develop and you must train yourself to do it. It happens that I don't need to train myself to do it because it comes alone. I would say pay attention to signs. I mean, for example, you want to paint, you have absolutely no idea what you are going to paint, you have no subject, nothing is interesting you, and suddenly something happens and it makes you think, but you don't pay attention, and maybe a few days later something else but a little similar by the same way happens, and you pay a little more attention and you start thinking, oh, that's interesting, maybe I would like to paint about that. Usually when we don't pay attention to what is important, it comes back at least a second time, and we must pay attention to this sign which tells us what to do. It's exactly what happened for me with Mark Hollis and Talk Talk. When my ex-husband left, I was completely blocked. I was in a very bad situation. I was in a total block in my inspiration. It means that I was able to take a canvas and to take a brush and paint on it, but for me to be motivated enough to do a painting, I must have a very good subject, topics which really passionate me, which really gives me enough will to do it day after day and to finish it and even to continue more and to explore and to work on it. So I was in my block and I was starting feeling really miserable because I was not painting. It's when I was already doing a little craft with Jenny Bailey. I was watching her videos and I was starting doing little things just to make me start something again. It was very hard because I was very easily depressed by working on that. It was kind of hard. But chiefly I was regretting not doing paintings, and it was a problem because I was supposed to make a painting for someone who already paid it, so I really had to do it. But I couldn't. And one day I was in my shop and outside the car was stopping because there was some traffic, and I heard "Life's What You Make It" coming out from this car. So the music was really loud. I could hear it from my shop. And I was like, wow, that is Talk Talk. I haven't listened to them in years, and I didn't want to listen to them because they reminded me the period before I met my ex-husband. Just before. I was still listening to Talk Talk when I met my ex-husband. And I was afraid that if I was listening too much to them, I would cry again, I would be sad again, and I chiefly didn't want to go there, you know. So I prevented myself from listening to Talk Talk, but when I heard that, I was like, oh, I should listen to them again. And then, you know, the bad voice which comes back in your head and said, no, don't do it, you are going to cry, it's not good for you, and it's going to make you sad, and blah, 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 blah. So I gave up. I didn't listen to Talk Talk again. But, so that was September 2014, something like that. But in October 2014, I made an incredible dream. I said that before in one of my first videos, but I say it again because then you will understand. I'm going to try to give a lot of details in what I'm doing. So I was dreaming that I was in a recording studio, and a guy wanted to change the bass line of It's My Life, the song. And I was in front of this guy, and I don't know who this guy is, I have no idea. I was telling him, no, you are not going to change the bass, are you crazy or what? It's going to change completely the song, the bass line is what is almost the best of the song, you are going to destroy this song, you are going to ruin everything, no way that you change the bass line. And the guy was insisting, and I was so upset in my dream that it awoke me in the middle of the night. I was kind of panicking because I was sure that someone was trying to change the song It's My Life. I don't know why. And I was a little sleepy, you know, I was not completely awakened. And I stood up and I went in my kitchen and I took my computer and I checked on YouTube if the bass line was well there, and chiefly if it was well what I was singing in my dream, because yes, in my dream I was singing to him the bass line. I didn't know that I knew the bass line, and I was singing to him the bass line. So I went to YouTube first to check that the bass line I was singing was the right one, second to check that it was still there, because I was sure that someone removed it or changed it. And I went to YouTube and the bass line was exactly what I was singing, and it was still there. What a relief! And I went back to bed, but the next day I couldn't stop thinking about that. I was like, that's strange. Why do I dream about the bass line? I don't play bass guitar. Nobody wants to remove or to change the bass line. What is this story? And why it affects me so much? I love Talk Talk, I love Mark Hollis. I've known them since the 80s, but I didn't know that I was so concerned about their arrangements, you know. So when I think about it, it's kind of crazy. And I was thinking so much about it that I couldn't stop listening to It's My Life, It's My Life, It's My Life. I remember because I had works starting in my house in a room, and I was putting It's My Life really loud to cover the noise of the works. And one of the workers at a point came and looked at me like, he seemed to say, I'm fed up with this song, you listen to it too much. He didn't say it, but he thought it so loudly that I could hear it, but I couldn't stop listening to this song. And one night, I was talking about that to a friend who lives in Paris, a very old friend of mine, and I told him, I don't know what I have, I'm absolutely obsessed with It's My Life. And a few nights later, I decided to watch the Such a Shame video that I already knew, but I had not seen it, watched it in a very long time, so I needed to watch it again. And I watched that, and it was like, I don't know what happened. It was like if someone hit me on the head, and I was not the same person anymore. I couldn't stop watching this video. I couldn't stop. There was something there, first, which made me laugh a lot. I hadn't laughed in years like that, you know. I'm someone who smiles really easily, but it doesn't mean that deep down I'm happy. And by watching it, it was like if a veil was removed from my brain, and suddenly big quantities of images came and came and came, and I thought, I have to paint. I have to paint. I must start kind of now. And I was scared. I was scared that maybe I wouldn't know how to paint anymore. So I started with an acrylic painting. Acrylic, it's a little easier, it's faster. For me, it's not as deep work as can be an oil painting. Oil painting, it means commitment. So if I was doing an oil painting, it was meaning that I was going to commit in this work. And I really needed to be sure, because I didn't want to start something and then stop in the middle, you know. I still watch this video here and there because it's like a booster, you know. It's like when I don't feel good, I watch that and I'm back on track, you know. But I would say that my way of creating and painting was completely different from my work that I made for Jim Morrison. For Jim Morrison, a voice was telling me what to do. Here, I'm the one who knows what to do, but the music talks to me. Maybe that's why the name Talk Talk. The music talks to me so much that I don't have even to search for an image. I play the music and the image is there for me. It's obvious. I don't even understand that not everybody sees the same image as I do. Of course, I understand that not everybody can see exactly the same thing as I do. Of course not, but it's very difficult to explain how. And what is strange is that the images that I have for the album It's My Life on all the songs are absolutely the same ones that I had in the 80s. It's like if they were coming back. Just in the 80s I was younger, I was not repainting yet. I was not in this state of mind of painting. I had these images in my head, but I didn't think then, or maybe I was not mature enough to want to put them on a canvas. But now it was like, it has been like a holy moment. It has been like if I found my truth through a music. Doing these videos about Talk Talk and Mark Hollis, don't ask me why I'm doing that, besides the fact that I want to share with people what I'm doing, because I think maybe it can be useful or interesting for someone, so I want to bring a little value to this world. But beside that, of course, I do that for you, but also for me. I'm not going to lie, I do that for me too. And maybe a little for Mark Hollis. I don't know, he probably doesn't care, but maybe in my mind I think I want to say good things about Mark Hollis, maybe. I do these videos like if I was in a mission, like if I had to do them. I don't care if people, I have some people telling me, oh, you are completely obsessed with Mark Hollis and Talk Talk. It's not about changing, it's not about one day talking about Talk Talk and next day what? You want me to talk about Duran Duran? No, I won't, I'm sorry. No, I'm talking about something which is important to me and in my art and in my work. I have the feeling that there is something really very important here. So my videos are like a way to understand what is going on, to understand this incredible link that there is between the music and the painting, to understand my way of working. I would like to explain to you better what my brain is doing when I listen to music and I see images. I really try to do my best. I really try to do my best to explain to you, but this is not an easy thing because the images come. They come. I don't have to do any efforts. They are there. And I need to translate them. I need to talk about them in videos. I need to put them on a canvas so people can see and I can show what I see. It's like a translation of something that I have in my mind, and I try to show them to you. I think that there are a lot of things we don't know, we can't explain. It doesn't mean that because we can't explain them that they don't exist. Obviously, there is something in this music which is really very particular. There is one thing I am absolutely certain that there is in this music, it's the love. There is some love in this music. I was lacking, it's not the first time that I say that. I already did a video about that, but it's very important. It's an important factor. I was lacking of love during a very long time, during 9 years. And I was feeling like empty, you know. And I heard this music that I knew, but I heard something more in it at that moment. And I think that I understood that there was some love there. I recognized the love that there was in it. And when there is some love, it's when your truth and what you have to do can really exist. Because if you do the things for a bad reason, or for example, if I was listening to a very mean and aggressive song and I was putting that on the painting because I feel very angry and I need to put my anger on the painting, some people do that. Actually, I don't know, especially someone who does that, but probably some people do that. It doesn't mean that the painting is going to suck. I am not saying that, but I don't think that it can go really far. I don't think that when you do something with anger, it's going to lead you somewhere where you must go. I've been asking for miracles and miracles and miracles, but I was not doing much to get these miracles. And I just needed to pay a little attention. It's very confusing what I'm saying here. I am saying that probably this music was exactly what I needed to listen to at that moment. And not only at that moment, I've been listening to it since a very long time. Even if I stopped during several years, it's a music that I used to listen very often. And then I discovered the last 3 albums. I discovered Spirit of Eden, and I discovered Laughing Stock, and I discovered the Mark Hollis solo album. And then, by listening to them, the images were even more strong. They were stronger and stronger, and it was like, whoa! It was like a true treasure of images. And I wanted to understand why this music and not another one. There are a lot of music that I love, but they bring no images at all. Nothing. I like them, I listen to them, but it doesn't mean that automatically it will bring images. The other day I was listening to the radio, and there is there on the K-Rock a song, I don't even know what it is, I don't even know the name, I don't know who is singing that. It's a song that I don't especially like actually. The melody is like a dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. The melody is very, I would say, very simple, not very elaborate. It's really very basic. It's a very simple is the word, really nothing magic in it. But the images from the song are absolutely incredible. Every time I listen to this song in my car, I have the same images coming and so strong, and I'm surprised because I don't especially like this song. Here with Mark Hollis and Talk Talk, it happens that not only the images are very strong and even more strong than on this song I'm talking about, but it happens that I love this music, so it's wonderful because I love, it brings some love, and it makes me create. So, you know, not everybody is painting like me. I mean, I need to be passionate about something to create. I can't just go outside and paint what I see, a landscape. I'm able to do that. I did that. I did a lot of watercolors when I was on the beach in France, in the south of France, in Cannes. We were on the beach, there was a lot of water, so watercolors seemed appropriate to me when I was doing that, and there was a form of passion in it because I love Cannes. I loved our vacation there, and I was with my family. I mean, there was a lot of love around, so it was easy to paint in this situation landscapes. But if I was alone, going outside, taking my easel and my paints and my canvas and start painting a landscape just like that, without music, without nothing, just for the landscape, I don't know how to do that. I would be able to do it, but there would be no passion, there would be no feelings, nothing. It would be just like an exercise to show me that, to prove to myself that I'm able to paint a landscape. I don't think that you must do a painting by this way, unless you want to train yourself and to learn how to paint, and then you are going to do still lives, you are going to do landscapes, you are maybe going to try to do portraits of people you know, or maybe of a cat or a dog. That is a very good training, but it's not what I call a painting which comes from your gut, from your heart, from you, from what you love the most. You know, I really need to paint in passion. I'm like that. Actually, I need to do everything with passion. I'm this kind of person. Or I can't do the thing just to do the thing. I must have a reason, a very good reason to do everything I do. So painting, of course, same thing. Anyway, all this to tell you, if you have the feeling that it would interest you to paint on music, on the music you love, or on the poetry, or on anything which inspires you, do it, and don't try to minimize what you feel. If you feel something, you must maximize it, you must explore it, you must use it, even if you don't do it right, it doesn't matter. You must work on it. If you have the feeling that there is a sign, something telling you do that, um, even if you try to make your reason work and your reason tells you no, don't go there, it's ridiculous, it's not interesting. No, don't believe your reason, believe your heart. Sometimes the heart is more right than the reason. So I've been asking for a lot of miracles. I got a few ones lately, and I must tell you, I'm absolutely certain that I'm going to the right direction by doing these paintings. Don't ask me why I do them. I don't know. I'm not sure that I want to sell them. It's not for the money, you know. Why I'm doing these videos, I don't know, but I know that I have to do them. And I will continue to this way because I have the feeling it is important. It is important for me, of course, but maybe for you, maybe for Mark Hollis, maybe for Talk Talk, maybe for the music in general, maybe for the art. I must be a little more humble because I have the feeling that I have a big role. No, I don't have this importance, but at least it's important for me, so I must do it for me first. Anyway, I've been talking a lot. The next video will be a little more technical. I want to translate to French something else, a Mark Hollis interview, because once again the French people can't understand this interview, and that is not acceptable. They must understand what is said. And then once this translation will be done, I will show you what I'm starting outside. It's another kind of painting. It's not the same work as a painting on canvas. It's much more physically difficult, but much more fun, in the sense it's more playful. It's more the aim is not to show what is deep down, it's more to be fun. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to finish this painting. Of course, I will continue on it. I will certainly continue on it because obviously I will maybe have a little more time to make it from now on. I hope so. I worked for that. I worked hard, and I made the thing by a certain way that maybe I will have more time to paint now. Hopefully, I hope so. So thank you for watching this video until the end. You are very brave, and I see you in my next one. Bye bye.